You're watching Muzu.tv. We're here with JLS.
Yes! Sup.
Hey, ahead of a very big release, gentlemen. The new album. Tell us about it. You must be very excited, JB.
Blam, album 3, Jukebox.
Yes.
It's here. We are very excited about it. We took like the best part of
4 years.
our first ever writing session as a group, which is over 4 years ago now. So, you know, we literally went back into time, back into history, JLS history, in order to bring this album to you guys. So we're very excited about
Now,
it.
the new single, Take a Chance on Me, is absolutely everywhere. All the radio stations are playing it, both in the UK and Ireland. I mean, you must be very excited to hear your song on the radio, I'm guessing.
Yeah, always. You know, you never, sit in your car and then your song comes on. It's kind of surreal, you know. We're just thankful, you know. It's there's only so many songs that can get played in a day, and we're up there, you know, with some of the best acts in the world. So it's
Is that like a
amazing.
massive buzz? Is it like, yeah, turn up the radio? I want to hear that.
Definitely.
Massively.
Definitely. When you're in the car and you hear it, come on, you're like, what's that? And then you're like, yeah.
Turn up some more.
That sounds good. Now, obviously, boy bands they're out there at the moment because
Yeah.
Westlife have released an album, One Direction have released an album, so it's the old and the new. Looking back yourselves, obviously, you've been influenced, I'm sure, by some of these. What are your standard, Arisha, like, what are the bands that you admire from the boy band genre?
Well, definitely, Jackson 5, Boyz II Men. But however, you got to respect the run of Westlife and people like Take That. I mean, those bands have done things that every boy band would love to do, and they've done. I think Take That have done almost 13 albums, and they've had careers combined of like 20 years and all sorts. It's unbelievable, and for us, that is the aim. That is the aim to be the best and hopefully exceed the rest.
Sometimes Westlife get a bit of a slagging is that they're not seen as being cool and that sort of stuff. Like, do you kind of take a step back from that and just say, look, hang on, they've sold millions of records worldwide. Like,
They've sold millions of records.
You can't argue with
You have
that.
to respect it. Do you know what I mean?
Have to.
End of the day, if from any act, not necessarily a group, not necessarily a boy band, whatever it may be, it's hard enough to sell one record these days than it is to sell the millions that them boys do, and they have done over the years. You know what I mean? It's consistency. Do you know what I mean? They've made their path, and they've just walked through it very clear, and they've clearly smashed it. And I think now, instead of them having to obviously fade out and people forget about them, they've graciously gone, do you know what? Let's go out on a high. Do you know what I mean? Let's go out on the millions. Let's go out on the massive tour. Let's go out on the success. I mean,
It
that's
does
what
make
they've
room
done.
for you guys, though, in fairness, when they retire, and obviously, like, there's that sort of vacuum, there's a chasm there to fill. Does that kind of excite you, the idea that suddenly you can come in there? They were right up there, and then there's a spot there now, isn't there?
But I think we're different kind of acts. Do you know what I mean? Yes, we're four boys in a band, but the way we perform our music is completely different. So almost our markets can be slightly different.
Bless you.
Oh, bless, oh, man.
It's a big
That's
sneeze.
enough.
It's a big
Some
sneeze.
dust.
A big sneeze.
Smoothie.
I'm looking
I should have
forward
said it. Smoothie.
How's your back? Is that all right?
Yeah, I feel better. Thank you,
Feel
Mark.
better?
But I just feel great that that we've got so many amazing fans, and especially here in Ireland. I mean, it's unbelievable. We come to the airport and there are literally hundreds of girls always waiting for us.
It's great.
It's amazing.
It's a nice sight, I'm sure. Now, can I shoot across the line and ask everybody who they're excited about right now? There's emerging artists in all sorts of genres. So, we start with yourself. Who's rocking your world?
I think who just gets better and better for me is Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
I think every time we see him perform, he's always going that extra step, and he's coming on leaps and bounds from the very first single, and it just gets better and better and better. So for me, again, say the man of the moment, Bruno Mars.
Okay, cool. Arisha?
I'm gonna have to go with Emily Sandé.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, I think this year she just went from strength to strength, and from releasing her own single to the feature on Professor Green's song, I think she's really been killing it.
Do you know her? Have you had any sort of meetings with Emily Sandé?
Yeah, we've
Right
written
with her.
a few times with Emily Sandé. Yeah.
Excellent. All right, yourself?
I'll probably say Ed Sheeran. I think he's had an incredible year, and I went to see him a few weeks ago at his gig, and the guy is just on stage by himself with a guitar, and he's like these pedals where he makes tracks literally whilst he's on the stage live, and his songwriting is just so contemporary. It's amazing. He's an incredible artist. Really excited about more albums from Ed.
I could see you working with him as well. Was that something you'd like to do?
Yeah, definitely, yeah,
of
for
course.
sure.
That brother.
When we're writing the next album, probably,
Hello.
you know, yeah, get in the studio with him and put down some tracks.
Deadly JB, last but not least, yourself.
For me, it's probably got to be Labyrinth. Obviously, had a huge track with The Sunshine, and I've been dying to hear him come back with something, and obviously just come back with Earthquake featuring Tiny Temper. And not only that, obviously everyone knows he's a great producer, and he's got the Wretch 3-2 new single, Forgiveness, so he's doing some big things, and obviously he's going to have a big year.
Excellent. I think it's really interesting that you all have picked really different stuff, different genres. Like, it's just indicative. I suppose the album is going to reflect that jukebox.
Yeah, definitely, yeah,
Exactly.
for sure. You know, the album, we'd written over 100 songs this time around for album 3, and to, you know, whittle it down to just 12 is really tough. So that's why we call it jukebox. It's a mixture of, you know, the best songs that we'd written in the past year. So, yeah, it's really exciting and looking forward to hearing it.
Excellent. We're about to go live on Muzu.tv, streaming right across the world, the UK and Ireland. I like to put the UK and Ireland as, almost separate for the world.
course.
It's a bit more special. But before I do, I have to ask you about the X Factor. Obviously, you're synonymous with it as one of the real, probably the success story of the X Factor. X Factor at this stage, I don't think anybody could argue. It's been a sort of a strange year for the X Factor, and people are saying the figures are falling and all that. JB, can I ask you, do you think that it's run its course at this stage?
I don't think the show's run its course. You know, obviously there have been you know, changes in the ratings and things like that, but I think it's the format of the show. You know, the format's changed, and with any change, it takes a while to get used to it. You know, so I think that there's definitely still life in the X Factor, and I think, you know, obviously once this year's taken its course and you see who's the winner, and you know, you see what happens with the acts from this year, you know, you're going to have just as many success stories as in previous years. So I think that's the main thing. The key is the talent that is found and the people that it gives opportunities to.
So, you know, the figures have fallen, so is there anything you could say that maybe could explain that? Is there things that need to be tweaked, or is there anything that sort of, you can say, well, that's not quite what it was?
I don't know. I mean, you probably have to ask, you know, the viewing public. You know, I think it's down. I think obviously it's down to the change in the formats. Like from when we were on the show, it's changed so much. Like they do their first audition in an arena now. You know, we did our first audition just in front of 4 judges. So you know, when you have that change, and obviously, you know, 3 new judges have come in, and obviously Simon's not on the show anymore. There's so many different factors, and you know, you can't put it on one thing. I don't think.
Yeah, it misses Simon a wee bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Fairness, I mean, he's such a big personality.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sure
do
you
miss Simon.
guys know very well. Okay, well, look, that brings to a close this part of our exclusive Muzu.tv interview with JLS. The boys are going to be talking live now, so we're going to have to say video adieu, and we'll be back with the boys very shortly.
See you later, guys.
Muzu.tv.
Adieu.